welcome, Dr. Ainhoa de Federico. What a beautiful name. Thank you so much for being here and for being such a big part of the summit. Everybody, Spanish Stage Sunday. You do not want to miss it, right? Invite everybody that speaks Spanish, and it's going to be a great event on Sunday. So quick introduction, because we want to hear from you about healing any eye issue, really. Is it possible, I guess, to heal refractive errors, cataracts, glaucoma, near farsightedness naturally? And I'm sure you have a strong answer for that. So first, research professor at the University of Toulouse in France, director of the Agape's Masters in Health Education in Toulouse. You have been teaching millions of people actually how to improve their vision naturally. Just some of your credentials, but here we go. It's all yours. Please share with us how we can improve our vision.
Thank you, Johannes, and thank you for organizing this amazing summit and for inviting me to be part of it, and also to be able to display some of the colleagues that speak Spanish. Thank you very much. I know you've put a lot of energy, many hours. I don't know how you handle so many things at once. This is a very great, and it looks also very complex summit. So thanks for the offer and for doing it, and for the presentation as well. And indeed, in this talk, we're going to talk about healing refractive errors, cataracts, and glaucoma naturally, and how to do it, which is the topic of the summit, through our lifestyle. Yeah. And you asked a question: is it possible actually to heal any vision symptom? And we'll get to that. But before I get further, I would like to know. Well, how many of you watching here, and of course this is a virtual summit, so we won't see like the room, even though there's like more than 30,000 people participating, but how many of you wear glasses or contacts? If we were in a room together, probably about 60% of the room would have their hand up. So I imagine that a lot of you do. And another question, do you know anyone who wears glasses or contacts? So not only you, but around you, do you see people who wear glasses or contacts? And at this point, if we were in a room, probably everybody would have their hands up. And now I have another question that's a bit more painful, and that is, how would you feel? How would it be for you if you lost your eyesight, if you could not see anymore? Scary, huh? Well, if you're like most people, going blind is one of your 3 most scary things, together with dying and public speaking. So, well, here I am challenging the fear of public speaking so that you don't need to fear going blind or losing your eyesight. And this is more important, even more important, as we are told, and statistics shows that vision decreases with age, and if statistics and the general trends go on as they are up to now, we would end up all having to wear reading glasses and developing cataracts. And also, we are told that nowadays there is a pandemic of myopia. In the past 20 years, the increase of myopia has been amazing. In Asia, in certain parts of Asia, it has gone from 50% to 90% of the population of those countries. And it's estimated that if we keep doing what we're doing, by 2050, it's expected that we will all be myopic, short-sighted, all over the planet. Now, I have another question, and this links to the topic of our summit here, about lifestyle health and medicine. Now, do you take care of your eyes as well as you take care, for example, of your teeth every day? Do you give them the time and attention that they need in order to be in good shape for life? Do you have the necessary good habits and lifestyle for your eyes as well as you do for your teeth, probably brushing them like 3 times a day or something? Well, again, I cannot see you, but I bet that for most of you, the answer is no. And if you want, you can type it in the chat. What are you doing to take care of your teeth? And what are you doing to take care of your eyes? Now, if you had to choose, would you prefer, of course we would like to have both, but if you had to choose, would you prefer to keep your teeth until you're older, or your eyes and your eyesight until you're older? Well, I bet that you'd like to have eyesight for life. Well, I have good news for you. Despite everything that statistics say, well, and the statistics are correct for the current state of things. But the first good news is that it's actually quite simple to take good care of your eyes if you have the right information. And the second is that if, like most people, you have not been taking care of your eyes up to now, and your eyesight is not doing great, has already some symptoms, or you just don't want to start having symptoms later on, well, today is a great day to start taking care of them, and I will give you several keys, several tips and things that you can do, several exercises to allow you to start taking care of your eyes. And these good habits and practices will prevent future problems, stop the ones you have if you have some, and improve your vision naturally, progressively, towards a better and better vision. And I guess that if you're here listening, that's something that's interesting for you. And Johannes was very kind to introduce me earlier, and I would like to add a few more words on why I'm talking about this topic here, besides being a professor and researcher at the University of Toulouse, working in this topic for a number of years now and teaching it at the master's level and in the Free University of Toulouse, and also teaching online, like Johannes said, and now having reached over 2 million people in over 200 countries with my free classes. Well, you have to know that I had vision symptoms 3 times in my life. This is part of what motivated me to going into this field of research and developing it. So I'm not going to talk about it for a long time, but during my life I've had 6 symptoms: myopia, strabismus, amblyopia, astigmatism, diplopia, and presbyopia. And fortunately, all 3 times that I have problems, these 6 problems, I found the resources and the approaches so that I could heal from them every time. And so I've had all these symptoms, and fortunately, because I did this work, I never had to wear glasses and I never had to get surgery. And in the process of my own self-healing of these symptoms, I learned enough things about how eyes and vision works, and then of course I have developed it as a research field at the university. And so this is part of what I'm going to present to you. I'm going to give you a few key ideas, and then I'm going to teach you or suggest a number of practices that you could do very easily in your daily life to take good care of your eyes as you take good care of your teeth, so that you have good eyesight for life. So starting with a few facts and key ideas, 1/3 of the population, of the world population, already has vision problems. And this was true even before 2020. And the World Health Organization, already before 2020, considered that 80% of those vision problems were preventable or curable. So a lot of it is in our hands, but we have to start doing what we need to keep and be in good health. Yeah, and of course, with the pandemic and the lockdowns, vision problems have increased dramatically. There are really lots of publications, scientific and in the press, that have been published on this alarming topic. And if I can show just a few of them, let me share screen quickly. Okay. So let me know, Johannes, if when I change the article, you see the different images, because sometimes with the sharing it gets a bit tricky. So, for example, managed healthcare, eye problems common in COVID patients. So people who got COVID very likely had vision problems, but not only with COVID itself. Because of the pandemic and the lockdowns, the problems of having things popping up, so a lot of people are getting other problems. Even if they didn't get COVID, the lockdown and the things that happened during the lockdown increased vision problems, yeah? And this is especially problematic for children and teenagers who have been spending an unusual time looking at screens and looking at things that were near them. Yeah, so we found publications in English, in Spanish, okay, about the same thing. 2020, the year where myopia, nearsightedness has increased a lot because of the lockdowns. Yes, the effects of myopia and how it has increased myopia a lot in children all over the world. And we find them also in French. Anyway, so there's been a lot of concern on the effects of COVID not only the illness but the lockdown on vision in different levels of the population worldwide. Yeah, and well, this is bad news that our vision has gotten worse. But the positive counterpart is that this means that vision problems are mostly not genetic, not determined, and actually, but they're associated to lifestyle and habits. And even if they were genetic or hereditary, well, we've had also Bruce Lipton in this summit and others who have shown to us how genetics are also affected themselves by beliefs and by behavior and by aspects of our lifestyle. So what I'm saying here is that even though statistics are saying that vision problems are very spread and going worse and the lockdown accelerated, the very reasons why vision got worse during the lockdown have to do with our lifestyle and what we do, and we can, if we know what it is, we can change it and do it different so we have a better vision. Yeah. So during the pandemic, long exposure to screens, frequently looking at short distances, moving less and likely taking worse postures, spending a lot of time in front of the computer, but also staying indoors with no sunlight exposure, with no natural light, and also stressing about health, stressing about relationships, stressing about money. All this created a perfect cocktail to have our vision decrease. And again, the good news is that if vision is so intimately associated with habits and lifestyle, we can learn the good habits to have a good vision for life. Yeah? And these good habits work for preventing the problems, the vision problems, for keeping the good vision, but also for improving your vision if you already have some issues, some problems. Yeah? Instead of having them get worse and worse with age. So, and if you don't believe me yet, let me show you quickly a couple of more things. Let me share screens quickly again. Let me choose it first. There we go. So, this is a map of taken from a documentary created by Arte, so German-French co-production, that was called something like "Tomorrow We'll All Be Myopic." And it talks about the current, or at the time where the documentary was created, spread of myopia in the world. Yeah, and you see in Asia, there's a concentration of vision problems, but there's other parts of the world that don't have that much. And if we look very quickly, we could say that the level of development is correlated with myopia, roughly. Yeah, so. And with Western industrialized societies, we also have more complex, stressed lives, and also with worse eating habits and less moving, and etc., etc. So it is linked to lifestyle, how myopia develops, not to genetics. If it were related to genetics, the change would be 2% in each generation, up or down, not necessarily up, it could be down. But we've had an increase of 40% of myopia in Asia in just one generation. Yeah, another thing that has happened in one generation is that 20 years ago, it was normal to need reading glasses when we were 50 years old. And nowadays, it's normal to get reading glasses after 40. So in 20 years of time, we have decreased the coordinates of our lifestyle that allow us to have good vision. Yeah, so a few more facts. Let's see. Okay, so also in China, 20 years ago, there was almost no presbyopia. Yeah, and where in the rest of the world, it's considered again normal to develop it. And very, very old people didn't have presbyopia. So again, this is not linked to biological degeneration of cells. But it's linked to what is different in the lifestyle of those people that were elder in China 20 years ago and didn't have presbyopia, and elder people nowadays, including in China, everywhere else. Yeah. So the thing is, we're told that it's normal to have vision problems and wear glasses after we're 40. Yeah. But how about if we had a bad lifestyle for 40 years with bad eating habits and no exercise, etc.? We would have a bad health in general. Yes or no? But if we take care of ourselves, we can have a very good health at 40 and well beyond. Well, that is true for our eyes as well. Yeah? If we take good care of our eyes, we can have very good vision for life. Now, What do people know about taking care of their eyes? Well, they go to the ophthalmologist, to the optometrist, and basically the solutions they present when they have vision problems is glasses or surgeries. Now, if we compare these to other aspects, for example, weight loss, what would be the equivalent of glasses for weight loss? If you wear a corset that makes you look like you're thin, but you're actually not. So it functions, but in the end, you still have the problem. With glasses, it's the same. It allows you to focus, but in the end, you still have the problem. Yeah? The other option, surgery. So if you are fat and you get surgery, and maybe they can remove fat or shorten your guts or put a ring on your stomach, but those things, if you keep having bad habits, they're going to be just temporarily. They're going to work temporarily. With eyesight, it's the same. If you get surgery, and there's some possible bad consequences of the surgery, but let's say that the surgery went well and that everything works fine. If you keep having bad habits for your eyesight, for your eyes, you'll develop symptoms later as well. And actually, a research in the University of Finland in the Department of Ophthalmology shows that 58% of people who get refractive surgery need glasses again afterwards. So there's a problem in this model. Instead of externalizing the solutions, we need to become responsible for health, lifestyle, health and medicine, and take up the good habits that will allow us to have a good vision for life. Of course, now I am much older than I was when I had vision problems, and I see much better than I did before. And time has passed for me as well. And I know people who are 60, 70, 80, 90 years old and who see very, very well. Yeah? So we can do this, yeah? So natural vision improvement would be the equivalent of having healthy habits of nutrition and healthy habits of movement and healthy habits in other areas of our life, because we're just not defined by what happens at the physical level, and the previous presentation was an example of that. There's also emotional aspects to our health and mental aspects, and sometimes for some people it would make sense also to speak about subtle or spiritual aspects, yeah? And our habits play a very, very important role in all of this. Okay, so there is a lifestyle that is good and good habits that is good for eyes and vision, and actually this is not something that I have discovered. There's 100 years of scientific research on natural vision improvement. It started with the pioneering research works of Dr. William Bates in ophthalmology, but there's also research within optometry, neurophysiology, neurosciences, biology and epigenetics, nutrition, posturology, and also in human and social and human sciences such as psychology, history, anthropology, and sociology. And let me just show you, and they're not necessarily even super recent publications, but just to show you that there's information that comes from long ago, a few examples of publications, and then after mentioning this, we'll get into the how, because probably you want to learn some practical things to do so that you can take care of your eyes. Yes? Oops, so wrong button, I silenced myself here. So for example, optometry and vision science, a whole issue, a whole review number dedicated to nutrition. You can change your nutrition and see better or stop seeing worse. Another review journal of the Journal of Nutrition, a number dedicated to the effect of toxicity in vision. Yeah, so if you eat in a way, and not only eating, if you're exposed to toxicity, it will impact your vision very quickly, because the eyes are not only the window of the soul, they're also the window to the liver, yeah? So you need to take good care of your liver if you want to have good vision for life. But there's also, in the Journal of Nippon Medical School, a number dedicated to posture and vision, eyesight, yes? So if you have good or bad habits on how you walk, you sit, you sleep, etc., it will impact your vision as well, for the better or for the worse. The Journal of Norwegian Medical Association in '91, a number dedicated to stress and vision, how stress impacts vision. And 2012, another number from the National Library of Medicine and the National Institute of Health, dedicated to explain how you can train your brain to overcome the effect of aging on the human eye. So you can also use the power of your brain to see better, even if there were some degeneration. And just to show you a few research articles published in different places about different topics, you can take a snapshot because we're not going to take the time to read the whole thing, yeah? And if you want to explore some of them, well, you'll see that actually there is a lot of scientific evidence behind natural vision improvement. And of course, I have done also my research at the University of Toulouse, researching the effect of different kinds of emotions, especially when they're not solved, when they keep being a trauma, like the previous speaker talked, and how they impact our vision. And let me just show you one image, because it will be very obvious. Just watch any horror movie. Yeah? What's the face of the person who's being traumatized, who's stressed? Look at their eyes. Look at the amount of stress in their eyes. So when we accumulate emotional stress, that also affects our vision. Yeah? Okay, so I just wanted to point a few questions, a few elements to let you know that natural vision improvement not only works, but it's really backed up by science since 100 years. And of course, there's other practices that already knew about this and took care of this, like in yoga or Tai Chi. There's certain practices that include taking care of the eyes, yeah? But science has talked about this for a while now. Now, if the amount and sophistication of research sounds complex at this moment and overwhelming, well, again, the good news is that the practices themselves and the habits are very, very often simple, easy, and fun. So they're really easy to integrate in your daily life. Now, the topic or the name of the talk was about refractive errors. So here we're talking about myopia, being short-sighted, hyperopia, being farsighted, astigmatism, when we see the lines distorted, and presbyopia, that is when we need reading glasses, and also glaucoma and cataracts, that are problems that are rising in numbers and they're worrying a lot of people, because with those you can get blind. I mean, you can stop seeing. So the practices and the tools and the tactics that I'm going to mention work for all of these symptoms, not only the refractive and glaucoma and cataracts, also for other vision problems. Now, if there's specific questions, because I see we started a bit late and I see the time is running, if there's some specific questions, I'll put a focus on some of them, but you can also have a look at the clearsightmethod.com, which is the website where there's more information about all of this. Yeah, but let's mention some of those good practices. Well, the first one, and it's going to be a bit of a surprise, but if you want to improve your vision naturally, the first thing that you will need to do is use your prescription glasses as little as possible, because it's like keeping crutches once you have sprained your ankle. If you keep the crutches, you don't develop again the ability to walk normally. You need some relearning, rehabilitation, yeah, with a specialist, but then you can walk again. Well, the eyes can do that too, but if you keep the crutches in front of your eyes, that won't work. Yeah? So instead of using prescription glasses, also sunglasses are not very good for you, I would suggest to change them by pinhole glasses whenever that allows you to be functional. Yeah? And of course, there's some situations in which the prescription glasses will be better, and some situations in which sunglasses will be reasonable to use. But in general, most of the time, we can be functional without any kind of glasses, and in many occasions we can change them by pinhole glasses. So why do the pinhole glasses help? Because the main principles of a good natural eyesight involve 5 principles, and those 5 principles are: first, relaxation. So do everything that allows you to relax, whether it's your whole body, because the eyes are connected through the fascias to the rest of the body, or the eyes in particular. For example, with palming, which is very easy. You just relax your hands, put them like spoons, and cover your eyes with your palms. You can put something under your elbows so you don't get tired, and you can do this for a few minutes, and it's very relaxing for the eyes. Yeah? Another practice you can do to relax your eyes is blinking more often. or looking far. The standard position for rest for the eyes is looking far, and we spend more and more time looking near all the time, tensing our muscles. So spend more time looking far. Sunning is also something that we need to do. Sunning is looking with your eyes closed. This is important, otherwise you're going to harm your eyes. So you close your eyes, you look towards the sun, and you move your head gently, and the stimulation from the warmth and the light from the sun will be extremely good for relaxing the muscles, but also for nourishing and stimulating your retina and keeping it in good shape for life. So we said first principle is relaxation. The second principle is movement. The more you move your eyes, the better they function. So if we keep staring and not blinking all the time in the same way, I know this is supposed to be good to keep your attention, but it wouldn't be good for my eyes. So if you notice, I've kept moving them all the time. Sometimes I'm looking at the camera, sometimes I'm looking behind, sometimes I'm looking at something else. So when the eyes are alive, when they're looking at different things, like children who are curious about the world, they keep in better shape. The function of focus is created by the muscles that are in the eyes, and the muscles need movement to be in good shape. The third principle is centralization. Okay, and this we would need to be more technical to explain it in detail, but I'm going to allow you to do a very simple exercise. Create a small hole with your hand and close one eye and look through the other through the small hole. I bet that you see much more focused than if you didn't do this. Yeah? So if you see more focused, congratulations. This is the quality of your eyesight. And if you're not seeing like this all the time, it's because you don't have yet the good habits of seeing. But why is this that you see better in the center of the eye? Because that corresponds to the center of the macula, the fovea, where we have the highest pixel, so to say, of vision. And if we keep moving our eyes, not only the movement is better, is good for the muscles that allow for focusing, but we train our brain to pay attention at the details. And that stimulates the fovea and stimulates the brain to see better. Fourth principle, so we said relaxation, movement, looking at details or central focalization. Next is memory, and the following is imagination. So everything that you can do for example, you look at something, you close your eyes and you remember it, and then you imagine it. Everything that you can do to stimulate your memory and your imagination is also going to be good for your eyesight. So we talked about pinhole glasses, looking far, looking for details, blinking, but also things that are good for your eyesight are yawning, laughing, sighing and moaning, because it lubricates the eyes, and the eyes need to be humid to see better, and it provokes relaxation. Also, some things you can do in the morning after brushing your teeth, for example, you can splash your eyes. You can clean your nose with salt water. You can buy in the pharmacies these solutions with water and salt, and you can clean your nose because it's also connected to your eyes. Sunning and palming, we already mentioned. And yeah, all these things are really very simple. And again, they allow to prevent vision problems, to stop vision problems, and to improve your vision naturally. Now, I think the previous speaker stopped at about 3 past, so I don't know if I have a few more seconds or
One more
not.
minute.
Go ahead. 1 more minute. Okay. Well, let's stop here. If you want more information, you can have a look at clearsightmethod.com. I hope that I gave you enough first to convince you that you can do something to take care of your eyes and your eyesight for life. Second, a few practices very quickly explained, but they're simple. They're things that you can do in your everyday life. Of course, you could also take better care for nutrition, but I'm sure that lots of people are talking about this in the summit, yeah? And and an invitation. So what are you going to do to keep a good eyesight for life? What are you going to do today to keep your vision for life? So invitation's open. You have a few tips. If you want more information, go look for it. But you can do it, it's possible, including for glaucoma and cataracts and any refractive error or other problems. As long as you have your optic nerve connected to your brain, as long as you have at least one eye in your face, you can improve your vision. So do it and keep a good vision for life. And thank you very much, Ioannis.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, this was amazing, so inspirational. And you know where I'm going to be in the workshop next week? where you actually teach everybody exactly how to do it. So whoever has eye issues, please join the workshop. Scroll down to the bottom here. You see when and how. Thank you. And again, Sunday, Spanish stage. It's going to be amazing.
Yes, we'll talk about this in Spanish and other speakers as well. So thank you again and see you very soon.
Thank you. Amazing. Thank you so much.